Hi, I'm Zoe from the Baby Revolution, and today I'm going to share with you the single biggest reason I find for my clients' infertility and the biggest difference we make to restoring it. You might think about some of the connections between fertility and nutrition as things like good sources of foods that we know are important for reproduction, things like zinc, iron, omega-3, omega-6. But there is so much more to how your nutrition and your environment impacts your fertility. And my job is to work out the one thing that makes the difference for you. And now that might be supporting your thyroid, it might be addressing undiagnosed anemia, or maybe the root cause of digestive issues. But today I'm not even going to mention nutrition or any of these things because there is something way more powerful that I find is holding back conception for the majority of my clients, and that is their mindset. Most of the women I work with are successful, driven, hardworking, and good at getting results and what they want in life. But when it comes to something uncontrollable like fertility, the approach they've used to get results in other aspects of their lives don't work when it comes to reproduction. And in fact, that approach can even make it harder to conceive. There are aspects that we can control with regards to our fertility, but we can't control the when. And that is often the case in other aspects of our lives as well, but they don't often have the same time pressure that we do have in reproduction. There might be an age pressure, for example, or a specific age gap you wanted between your children, or a timescale you had in mind for getting pregnant. Deciding to have a baby is a huge decision, and often that means that it's been very much planned, with time being a more relevant pressure. And this pressure can be the source of the problem. We often compare ourselves to others. We may have high expectations for what should be happening. Did you know that by focusing on things like ovulation kits, times in your cycle, pregnancy tests, Googling pregnancy symptoms, are all focusing you on one thing, trying to get pregnant? And if it's not happened when you expected, you probably started researching more about how to get pregnant. And this may have then become an all-consuming task, attracting more and more of trying and not succeeding. It doesn't mean that all of these things are terrible and that you can never do any of them. But ask yourself, how often do you spend thinking about trying to get pregnant or do those things? If it's most of the time, then you're attracting trying to get pregnant and not much else. When you hear stories about people who fell pregnant by accident or never got pregnant and then adopted and then fell pregnant, people often make sense of this by saying they stopped wanting it so much or they took the stress away. Did they? What is clear is that they still wanted a child. And for the woman who got pregnant by accident, then she would have had to have thought about children or even the desire to not have a child in order for the pregnancy to be aided. Because thinking about not wanting something still attracts the thing. So make sure you focus on what you want, not what you don't want. You see, what we think of becomes our reality, and whether we do or don't want it, if we think of it, it helps it come to us. So that lady who adopted still thought about children and wanting to have one, but having a child with her brought the association clearer and stronger, and it stopped her focusing on trying to get pregnant. So still want it, that's okay, but focus on bringing children into your life, which some of us often avoid if we're sad about conception not happening. Think about what your child might look like, what they might be called. There may be many reasons why mindset may not be supportive of fertility. So working one-to-one together will establish what is going to make the biggest difference for you as an individual. But you will gain a huge insight to this on my online course. Time isn't within our control, but if you start by focusing on the end result that you want, what it looks like, what it smells like, what it sounds like, connect with it. Connect with other parents and children. Stop comparing and thinking about what other people have managed or not managed, and realize that if someone can, anyone can. Then you will be making the most important step in your fertility journey already.